That's really weird. My Bluetooth was steering me wrong. I'm sure you guys can hear me now. I think. I apologize for that one. There we are. Yes. So you can hear me now. So let me rewind. Friday morning, not really morning. Rex is terrible at live streams. Not drinking coffee because I've had a few already. And what's up, buddy?
Did you get any gummies?
I did not get any gummies yet. Mike's on here. You didn't miss anything because my audio was down, so you missed absolutely nothing. But now that Connor mentioned it, I definitely I want gummies. I wanna go get some yum yums. But brief technical difficulties. Yes, that's all you missed, Mike. But yes, this is your Friday morning chat. So what's been going on with you guys on a more Friday morning personal tip? Who's had any crazy stories? I feel like okay, Beth Graham is a lip reader. That's something I did not know. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what's gone on in the world in the past since I did a Friday. It's been a minute since I've gone on here on a Friday, but Cindy's going grocery shopping, and actually that is something that's fun. I went out this morning and I forgot a few things, but online learning, yeah. That's definitely, that is a thing. We're trying to figure that out on our end ourselves, and it's a lot. But I will say, like, the fact that's what things have come to. And I said and Jen said the same thing. It's like I'm just glad that they're making that decision, because we were kind of it's unreal. I believe it though, honestly. Like, it is the amount of phone calls and working things through, and then not to mention the fact that at that point, like, realistically, you are the teacher. And so for I think a lot of parents, it's like it's a huge thing that I'm again, we are glad that they're doing it, because of the fact that not only does it keep the kids themselves, I guess, safer at this point, but honestly, it keeps everybody safer, because they're not bringing home anything. They're not coming into contact with anybody that's not being socially distanced. So yeah, like, it's very much I don't know if bittersweet even does it justice, but yeah, but that's honestly, Mike, that's the other thing, is the fact that you're not teaching. Basically, it's almost like you're the in between the teacher and the kid, just making sure that the kids are actually paying attention, making sure that the technology is working, making sure that everything's being followed. And what we kind of brought up earlier, was like, because I kind of thought both the more inexpensive method, and I think the easier method for parents would be if they sent home, like if every week we went and picked up a package, and in that package it had both like the learning side of things and then the testing side of things. Um, like I feel like that would be, yeah, and that's the thing. Sorry, I put the wrong one up. Mike, teaching is easy, but getting them to sit and listen, because that's the one thing that I feel like people also don't grasp about teaching, and how much teachers actually do is the fact that, like, when you send your child off to school, um, you're sending them to a place where they're probably, like human nature, they're kind of uncomfortable to be as disobedient as they would be with their parents. And I think it's maybe the thought that, like, your parents won't shoot you, but a stranger might. Um, no, and Kevin just brought up a good point as well. How are people expected to be teachers and work full-time jobs? And that's a serious thing. Actually, I'm going to keep that up while we're talking about this, just for perspective. But it is, that is a thing. Um, Parents that are working jobs that are still open, we assume. Um, they're going and putting their 8 hours in, and then coming home, and I would imagine that there isn't a program, like, I definitely haven't looked into this, but I don't think there's a program that pushes those online classes to later when the parents are home. So I would think that, like, something has to happen, that somebody's got to be there for. Now, I guess maybe they could bring their tablet or whatever to wherever they're being babysat, but it's a lot. Um, Students are conditioned to behave at school. Honestly, that's a serious thing. Um, because when a kid is at school, and not even just at school, but like in public. Actually, I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna keep that up. When kids are in public and in front of other people, it's like a completely different level of behavior. Um, because they don't. I feel like that's where, like, embarrassment sets in. It's like they don't want to embarrass themselves, and so they don't act out on that way. But at the same time, if a kid is, like, they're online learning, and there's no one watching over them, because even a parent that's at home, um, not just because of COVID, but like any stay at home parent, it's not like you sit there and stare at the kid all day while they're doing their online learning. A teacher in a classroom setting, they're actually staring at the students the whole time. So there is something there about, like, yeah, you'll be embarrassed. You'll sorry, I pulled comments up that I didn't mean to. But there's an embarrassment factor that goes along with that. Um, I think that, like, I give it up to the education system for doing something to keep things going. Um, because they'll, like, families that don't have a computer that they can just give up for the entire day for the kid to be on, they'll send them, like, a little tablet or whatever it is. But in that, you do essentially kind of make. And I think back to the hall monitors and like bus drivers when I was a kid, because they were never parents of the students. It was always somebody hired in, and it was hilarious because I still remember, and to this day I would love to find this lady who she wasn't crazy old when, like, so like she wouldn't be that much like that crazy old right now, but her name was Patty. And I remember it was a definitely a foregone era, but I remember when the kids were acting up, she always used to say the same thing: if you keep acting up, I'm gonna bop your heads together. And so, yeah, I think that is, sorry. Well, and that's, Mike brought up a good point. Um, it's a full time job to learn what they need to competently teach. And oh, he said half joke. Well, I do think that's a serious thing. Like, being a teacher, and I get that we're in an age where people are taking jobs less for passion and more just for, like, it makes sense for my lifestyle, it makes sense for this, it makes sense for that. Um, but I do remember a time when, like, being a teacher, that was a thing that like you wanted to do, you yearned to do, and it still is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that, like, I remember my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Jensen. Um, she didn't do that job for the money. I'm sure that she needed money. Like, she was a married woman with a family. Like, I'm sure that she needed the money, but she didn't do the job for the money. Um, when my mom became a nurse, I guarantee that she needed the money, but she didn't do that job because she needed the money. Um, I just it's a different thing now. So, yeah, like, teachers, I'm sure there are many teachers out there that do the job because they want to be a teacher. They want to teach kids. They want to shape minds. But I think there's tons of teachers that, and not that it's a bad thing, but they wanted to make money doing something legitimate. They didn't want to, sell oxycontin on the street or something, so they became a teacher. But I'm so happy that my daughter is in high school and doesn't. This is another good point. Honestly, Beth, like, this is something that scares me. Um, not even for our baby on the way, but, like, if Jen's daughter came to me with a math problem, I guarantee you that I would not be able to solve it. Um, and she's in high school, and that's a big thing. Like, I think that this whole thing is putting a spin on stuff that parents are teachers. She walks by, but parents are teachers, and like, we don't know the stuff. Um, and so, the fact that they're trying to to at least help through the whole multimedia, like all the online classrooms and stuff like that. Like, I think it's amazing. But I do think it would be kind of an awesome thing if they would, like, for parents that are trying to help, send us the syllabus. Send us, the tools to be able to help, because that's the one thing that they haven't done. That it, I think it's imperative. Like, I remember My dad did half of my projects growing up. And not that like he did it because he was like I can't do it. He just would get excited and he'd be like, "Okay, let's maybe do this or let's do this or let's do this." And I'd let him go with it because like he knew how to do that stuff. I don't know how to do that stuff. And so I think that would be a way that you could maybe help parents not feel like they're completely helpless. Um, yeah, because I think that is a huge thing. Is parents are sitting kind of I don't want to say scared, but like trepidatious, at least. Look that up. Um, because it's a lot to take on. Like if you think about the fact that from the age of about 5 till the age of now I guess it's 17 to 18 ish, you are not really responsible for the intelligence of your child. Like you send them off to school, they're responsible. And and the working at home part, like yeah, you do that, but now it's very much all on parents. So I would love to know how other parents feel about that side of things. Like even the smallest things like math. When I went to school, multiplication and long division were two things that are completely different now. Like to the point where if I saw what someone was doing, like the work that they were doing, I wouldn't even understand it. Um, well, yeah, that's definitely true. But at the same time, if they changed math between now and when I was at school, are they gonna change it again? Could happen. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. The math they're doing now is so far from what we've done. Like it's honestly unbelievable. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, but like when I was a kid, if I had a problem with math, I went to my dad. My mom was good with math, but my dad was definitely like it just kind of clicked with him. My brother was also really good with it, but honestly, like even now, thinking about Bedmas, that was the worst thing that ever happened to my life at the time because brackets, something, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. What's the E? What's the E in Bedmas? Bracket exponents. See, this is horrible. Kim saying new math takes the long way around. I don't even know what way it takes. I just don't like it. Um and I will say this brings me back to my guidance counselor talk before, but like the amount of times that people said, "Oh, yeah, well, you can't live on that." Man, I remember them saying that you know, well, you can't use your calculator for this because it's not like you're going to be able to walk around with a calculator all the time. Really? I don't know anyone that doesn't walk around with a phone. Um, I don't have one, because I hate wearing watches, but I'm pretty sure that I could pull up a calculator on an Apple Watch. Like it's ridiculous. Jess says, definitely a joint. Man, okay. French math, that is where I grew like an I want to say this word. I don't know if it's the right word, but I'm going to say it anyways. An exacerbated amount of respect for the friends that I had that were on the French side, because French math, oh, like it takes math, which is already ridiculously hard, and then it puts it in French, which basically like kind of does still put it backwards. Like, oh, that was the biggest eye-opening experience that I ever saw. Looking at my friends that were on the French side of our high school, and looking at their math, it was ridiculous. Well, you know what? When you've got two eggs side by each, that definitely adds to the confusion. Anyways, thank you guys all for joining in. I do appreciate hearing your comments on this, because this is something that I don't think is going to be something that is gone in a couple weeks. Like, I think we're all going to be dealing with this stuff for a little while. So I think finding ways to cope, finding ways to deal with it intelligently, and honestly, like it is. I think it's scary for parents, at least, and I'm not even yet a parent, but seeing what Jen's kids are dealing with, and the fact that they are dealing with it amazingly. Like, if I was in school, in high school, and having to think about, okay, well, I gotta do my next class on Google something, like, that would have been a lot to deal with at that time. And I think that kids are dealing with it really well. At least the ones that I've seen. Um, 2023. Yeah, I hope that Sister Barb said to me, "Oh, wait, I missed something." Okay. I'm not gonna repeat that one, but Kevin, that was hilarious. And Sister Barb, I was actually just looking through my yearbook the other day, and found some pictures of me playing guitar for the masses at school, with Sister Barb. But yeah, good memories. Um, conacademy.com. Hold on, I want to put that up, Mike. I don't know what that is, but I know if you guys are posting it, it's definitely something good. Um, so, as Mike said, for anyone with kids having a tough time with the social distancing learning, and online learning and all that stuff, Khan Academy, Khan Academy, conacademy.com. Um, anyways, I'm going to end things off. I'm going to make some lunch. But thank you guys for all tuning in. I definitely will try and keep these Fridays going more permanently. But on Sunday, we've got our Sunday night groove. Make sure you tune in for that at 6 p.m. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. If you're watching on Twitch, remember to follow. And if you're watching on Facebook, just remember to share, since I'm sure we know you guys. And we've seen all your smiling faces. But we like to see them again. So thank you guys very much. We'll see you on Sunday. And have an amazing day. Oh, I almost did the wrong thing. But no,